Thank you, co-investors, for having me here. First, I'd like to discuss what it was like growing up in rural Georgia. Out there with my peers, there was a lot of fascination I had with the world. We noticed everything that went on around us, from the humongous ant hills to the thriving bee colonies, moths, birds, rabbits, foxes, armadillos, lizards, and all the predator birds we could see hovering around in the sky. All this stuff was visible and accessible to us in our backyards. I notice in today's world, there's a stark absence of these creatures from these newer generations and an obvious lack of appreciation for the world around them. And I think that changing the world starts at home. Hopefully, through these sustainable housing projects, families and communities will see the value in inhabiting and supporting an environment where they are not only benefiting from nature, but nature benefits from them. These changes can aid in their mental health, longevity, and the health and well-being of their children, who will ultimately grow up in rich environments with a stronger connection to the world around them. Today, we're seeking 1.2 million in growth capital in exchange for 15% equity. With your investment, Helio Homes will scale our prototype neighborhoods from pilot phase to full-scale land-based developments in ecosystems most at risk from green desertification. Here's how we'll deliver both strong financial returns and a measurable ecological impact. We were originally founded in 2022 by environmental engineers and architects. We pioneer a new model of community development where recycled materials, solar integrated design, and a microhabitat architecture can all come together in one living space. We want to shift our home building ideals from a human-only utility to a high coexistence living, integrating native vegetation, pollinator corridors, and wildlife niches directly into residential lots. This allows for the flourishing of all kinds of flora and fauna that are native to the local area, and they become a part of your living. We have completed eco cottages in Southern California, each achieving 40% lower embodied carbon and hosting 12 native plant species on site. We have allowed these residences to become a combination of native plants and a working system with their own natural pollinators. This allows for a greater diversity in what they may find on their own lands, thusly helping in the reversal of green desertification. With your millions in our hands, we would use that to up our manufacturing and material scaling. So we will be able to expand our modular plants and produce 50 homes a year by year 3. We would also try and invest in our marketing and partnerships to launch more targeted campaigns in at-risk regions. Arizona, Florida, the Panhandle, and the Gulf Coast. Hopefully we could co-design and pilot sites with municipalities. These will allow for these areas to gain more ecological strength right in their backyards. And lastly, we would use it for more site development. Refine our living wall systems and microhabitat modules, and prepare for 2 demonstration neighborhoods where there could be more large-scale integration of families and communities into systems wherein they support their ecosystems. In our calendar projections, we've already got 600,000 in signed reservations for pilot cottages, and also 200,000 in recognized revenue from consulting and installation services. Now, in our calendar projections, we estimate 1.8 million in home sales and an extra 500,000 in service revenue, driven by 3 municipal contracts and 10 private buyers that we are currently in the works on securing. This means multiples in communities who will now be able to reap in the benefits of ecological living. What will we make on this? What will we make on this, you ask? We expect a gross margin of 25%, and that's with materials efficiency and modular markups. Basically, us being more cost effective when it comes to how we get some of our materials and how we mark up our pricings for some of our housing units. This will turn into a $575,000 gross profit. Now, our earnings before income taxes, and that would be about $300,000 after operating expenses. Now, our year three projection is about $3.2 million and a 28% gross margin, which is about $650,000 before earnings and taxes and things like that, which is a lot more, almost double our current gross profits, essentially. Some of the strengths of this project in particular is that we may be one of the first movers in a high coexistence land-based communities. These things aren't so easily found where we have taken the opportunity to use what we have done in technology, whereas it's more human focused and human served, to serve something a little bit more outside of ourselves, wherein we're not just serving our human needs, but we're also serving our environmental needs. So even in the household, we are contributing to sustainability and eco-friendly practices that can trickle down into the younger generations. We have proprietary modular microhabitat technology, which really helps with our pollinators, bringing them home more often, and a strong environmental grant pipeline, where people who are buying some of these houses can get governmental support for buying these things for a certain amount of time. Well, we have a limited track record outside of pilots, but we do have experience outside of pilot housing. Our homes may present higher initial costs than regular builds, primarily due to the materials, design innovation, and the ecological systems involved. However, this weakness becomes a strength in the long run, as clients benefit from increased utility, reduced utility bills, increased home lifespan, and a potential tax incentives, as explained before with their grants. Another challenge is the niche awareness of our mission. Many home buyers are not yet familiar with the concept of high coexistence housing. This presents an opportunity for education-driven marketing and the creation of a cultural norm in sustainable development, one that trickles down throughout the generations. This brings us to some of our opportunities we can find here. With the increasing momentum in real estate and construction industries toward green building, especially in response to climate change and rising utility costs, we have a unique opportunity to pioneer high coexistence housing on a broader level, not just on singular houses, but in communities that are thriving together. And we can do this in partnership with the municipalities and eco-conscious developers looking to revamp urban planning. This also includes opportunities for educational initiatives, youth engagement programs, and media storytelling that can all help build a stronger movement around our mission. This allows for not just the adults who are looking to buy houses to take part in this process, but also the children who may want more friends and more nature in their daily lives, especially around them. As green policy and funding expands, Helios Home is positioned to take advantage of grants, subsidies, and all of the recognition. Our main threats include competition from more established green builders, not exactly community builders, but those who are more invested in the green side and sustainable side of housing manufacturing. The rising costs of raw materials poses another threat, and policy shifts that may deprioritize sustainability. However, each of these can be mitigated. Our strong brand identity, educational leadership, and community-based model may make us more resilient than traditional developers. If green materials could become costlier, our focus on local and recycle sourcing provides stability. And by staying closely aligned with the community needs and ecological outcomes, we become essential partners for city planning and sustainability mandates by our consistent innovation. To be a bit more specific about our product, our modular homes, which are homes that can be made to order, as in you get some sort of say over how it is customized per client, and our community infrastructure as well, where we take more of a hands-on approach into building communities around ecological factors such as forests, ponds, pollinating boxes, fields that contain enough biodiversity to support some of these ecosystems, and also considering some of the local fauna that may benefit from the increase in biodiversity from the ground up. We also have living walls and roofs, which means our native plants, pollinator boxes, and microhabitat nodes can come attached to your housing. We have water smart landscaping, which are those ponds that we spoke about, but also rain gardens, bioswales, and permeable pavements, which allows for more water smartness. This stuff was very interesting to learn about. Our materials, which was 40% recycled composites, and a lot of low carbon embodied timber. These things are very important because when you're taking down timber, you do put back a little bit of carbon in the environment. So finding the woods that don't do as much of that is imperative. And by our price, we do have pretty pricey price of $275 to $350 per square foot, which is a premium for ecological integration. And green mortgage financing is available. Some of our promotion has taken place using visual slide decks and VR tours of our pilot sites. We've allowed some of our customers to take a good inside and intimate look at what these houses may look like for them and how they can customize it to better fit their needs. We also take place in webinars and workshops with ecologists and planners. So you have more of an expert approach and opinion on how some of these features of our houses can come together to support the ecosystems and the families within them. We also have a fair amount of local press and social media campaigns, showcasing biodiversity gains and wins for our green systems. Our impact-driven home buyers, which is our target market, are individuals seeking legacy projects, things to pass down. We also look into land trusts. We need resilient community prototypes. And we also have partnered with a bit of private developers. We are interested in people who are looking to differentiate with ecological design. So more people who are interested in these kind of designs are the people who we're after. Again, Helios Homes stands at the forefront of a movement of reimagining neighborhoods as living, breathing ecosystems where people and wildlife can flourish together. With 1.2 million in the Barracuda Cove investment backing for 15% equity, we will scale our modular plants to community-sized productions and demonstrate that living habitat neighborhoods can be done in 2 different regions. We will do our best to inspire policy and consumer trends toward ecosystemic harmony. And you will be able to join us in cultivating thriving green communities where every home is a habitat. And harmony will begin in every habitat. And every resident is a steward. Let's plant the seeds of a biodiverse tomorrow. Again, thank you. Before we leave today, we have engraved and sustainably sourced wood. These are engraved with a QR code linking to our virtual walkthrough of some Helios homes and investor resources. They'll allow you to keep up with any of our community outreach and a lot of our newer and more local investments in education workshops and more VR instances where people can try out and look at some of our homes from the inside. Let there be harmony in every habitat. Thank you again.